Deep beneath the holy city of the Vatican, sealed behind heavy vault doors and guarded by the elite Swiss Guard, lies a labyrinth of secrets. They call it the Vatican Apostolic Archive. It contains exactly 53 miles of shelving, holding over 12 centuries of human history. The shadow government and the highest-ranking religious elites tell the public that these vaults only contain old letters, financial records, and historical texts. But whistleblowers and insiders have painted a much darker, much more terrifying picture. What if the Vatican isn't just hoarding paper? What if they are hoarding highly advanced matrix-breaking technology? Technology so powerful that it proves the linear concept of time is nothing but an illusion. Welcome to Vantage Elite. Today, we are opening one of the most suppressed and terrifying files in human history. We are looking into the Chronovisor, a machine allegedly built in the 1950s by a team of the world's most brilliant quantum physicists and a Vatican priest. A machine that didn't just record the past, but allowed the elites to look directly through the fabric of time and watch history unfold live on a screen. They don't want you to know about the Chronovisor, because if humanity realizes that time is just a frequency that can be tuned, the entire matrix of control collapses. To understand the Chronovisor, we must first understand the man who allegedly created it, Father Pellegrino Ernetti. Ernetti was not your average priest. He was a brilliant Benedictine monk, a world-renowned musicologist, an exorcist, and deeply educated in quantum physics. In the 1950s, he was working in the Catholic University of Milan, studying the harmonic frequencies of ancient chants. According to Ernetti, the universe is not made of solid dead matter. It is made of energy, vibration, and frequency. Every single action, every word spoken, every event that has ever happened on this planet emits a specific electromagnetic and visual frequency. When an event happens, that energy doesn't just disappear into nothingness. It leaves an eternal energetic fingerprint in the electromagnetic spectrum of the Earth. Ernetti believed that if you had a machine sensitive enough, you could catch these residual frequencies, decode them, and reconstruct the past as a three-dimensional hologram. But Ernetti couldn't build this alone. According to his own claims, he assembled a highly classified team of 12 elite scientists. While the full list of names has never been officially released, Ernetti claimed that the team included Enrico Fermi, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist who created the world's first nuclear reactor, and Wernher von Braun, the infamous aerospace engineer who built rockets for Nazi Germany before being brought to America under Operation Paperclip to run NASA. Let that sink in. A Vatican exorcist, the father of the nuclear age, and the mastermind behind NASA's space program, all working together in secret to build a time-viewing machine. For years, they worked in absolute secrecy, funded by unknown sources within the shadow government and the Vatican, and eventually, they succeeded. They built the Chronovisor. Ernetti described the machine as looking somewhat like a massive television setup, connected to an extremely complex array of antennas and a cathode ray tube. It didn't physically transport people through time like a science fiction movie. Instead, it operated like a cosmic radio receiver. By tuning the dials to specific frequencies, the machine could lock on to a specific location and a specific date in history. When they turned the machine on, the results were terrifyingly clear. Ernetti claimed that they first tuned the machine to relatively recent history. They watched Benito Mussolini deliver a speech in Rome. They tuned it further back and watched Napoleon Bonaparte give orders on the battlefield. The Chronovisor was not just showing them blurry shadows, it was receiving full audio and high-definition visual projections of the past. They decided to push the machine to its absolute limits. They went back to ancient Rome.
Ernetti claimed they watched the famous Roman statesman Cicero deliver his iconic speeches to the Senate in 63 BC. Ernetti, being a musicologist, was even able to transcribe the lost original rhythm and pronunciation of the Latin language directly from the viewing.
But the ultimate test of the Chronovisor was yet to come. Father Ernetti and his team tuned the machine to the year 33 AD, to the city of Jerusalem. According to Ernetti's chilling testimony, they witnessed the most pivotal moment in human history. They watched the Last Supper. They witnessed the betrayal in the Garden of Gethsemane. And finally, they tuned in to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Ernetti claimed he saw the true, unedited, unmanipulated reality of the event, capturing a photograph of Christ on the cross directly from the Chronovisor screen. For a brief moment, a group of scientists and a priest had conquered the illusion of time. They had created a window into the absolute truth. But the absolute truth is the greatest enemy of the shadow government. When Pope Pius XII and the highest levels of the Vatican intelligence apparatus learned about the true power of the Chronovisor, sheer panic erupted. Think about what this machine represented. If the Chronovisor fell into the public's hands, or even into the hands of rival governments, the entire system of global control would instantly evaporate. The elites maintain their power by writing the history books. They control the narrative. They tell us who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, and what happened in the past. This manipulation is the foundation of the Matrix. But with a Chronovisor, there could be no more lies, no more state secrets, no more false flag operations. Every political assassination, every secret treaty, every hidden agenda of the shadow government would be visible to anyone who turned on the machine. Even worse for the elites, the Chronovisor proved that reality is holographic and that time is not a solid barrier but a manipulatable frequency. It proved that human consciousness is trapped in a low-frequency simulation, constantly lied to by those in power. The Vatican and the intelligence agencies intervened immediately. The Chronovisor was deemed far too dangerous for humanity. The machine was forcefully dismantled, confiscated, and buried deep within the most highly restricted sectors of the Vatican Secret Archives. Father Pellegrino Ernetti was sworn to a terrifying oath of silence. The intelligence apparatus went to work, launching a massive disinformation campaign to discredit his claims. They leaked a fake, heavily altered photograph of the supposed crucifixion to the Italian press, knowing the public would quickly debunk it as a fraud, thereby destroying Ernetti's credibility. The mainstream media and the scientific community mocked him. They labeled the Chronovisor a hoax, a myth, a crazy story invented by an eccentric priest. But Ernetti never broke. For the rest of his life, despite immense pressure from the Vatican, he quietly maintained that the machine was real, that it had worked, and that the elites had stolen it to protect their power. In April 1994, Father Ernetti lay on his deathbed. Surrounding him were Vatican officials, desperate for a final confession, desperate for him to admit the machine was a lie. But with his dying breath, Ernetti refused to retract his claims. He stated one last time that the Chronovisor was absolutely real. Today, the truth about the Chronovisor remains locked behind the massive blast doors of the Vatican archives. But its story leaves us with a chilling realization. The shadow government, the intelligence agencies, and the global elites possess technology that is decades, perhaps centuries, ahead of what the public is allowed to see. They hoard the truth. They keep the high-frequency knowledge hidden in deep underground bases and secret vaults, while they feed us the low-frequency distractions of social media, political division, and endless fear.
They don't want you to know that time is an illusion. They don't want you to know that history has been manipulated. But the matrix is glitching. The files are leaking, and the awakening cannot be stopped. Question the history they teach you. Unplug from the narrative. Stay awake. Stay sovereign. Stay elite.